الكرسي؟ What's the chair? جزاك الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله، الحمد لله، الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا أرحم الراحمين. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach us what benefit us from what He taught us, and increase us in knowledge. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Before we start, I lived in New York for 26 years. And in 1999, we started the halaqah. When we say a halaqah in New York, it's different than the halaqah here. Here, this is not a halaqah, this is a lecture. Halaqah is, you really have a group of people, 20, 25, and it's very interactive. So 1999, we started the halaqah, 16 years ago. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I was in charge for that halaqah for all 16 years till I moved here. Today, 9 members of the halaqah surprised me and came to Dallas. Allahu Akbar. I was very, very happy to see them, and really touched my heart that they came all the way from Dallas, and I really appreciate them. My brother Abu Yusuf, Jazakallah khair, brother Abu Tariq, brother Khalid, my beloved brother Walid, brother Sharif, brother Khalil. Where's Khalil? Praying. And brother Ali. And did I forget anybody? Kilani also. Where's Kilani? Praying also. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. May Allah reward them, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring them back safe to their families, inshallah ta'ala. And I want my epic family to please welcome them just like you welcomed me, and even better, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallah feekum. Tayyib. As usual, every Thursday we take a hero from our history and we discuss him, hoping that Allah will bring someone amongst us that will imitate and emulate these heroes, and hoping that one day we will wake up. Wallahi, hoping that one day we will wake up. So today's hero is a man that it was said about him, من أحب أحمد بن حنبل فقد أحب السنة ومن كره أحمد فقد كره السنة. Allahu Akbar. Whomsoever love Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahullah, he has loved the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And whomsoever does not love or hate Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he hates the sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is how much our hero today was attached and loved the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he was the sword on bid'ah. He was stingent about bid'ah, very strict about any innovations in the deen. And he was a very famous muhaddith. He was expert in tafsir, in fiqh, in everything. And but his specialty, as we all know, is hadith. Abu Abdullah Ahmad ibn Hanbal al-Shaybani. This is his full name. Abu Abdullah Ahmad ibn Hanbal al-Shaybani. He was born in Baghdad, raised in Baghdad, died in Baghdad. Born, raised, and died in Baghdad. His father died while he was very, very young. And his mother, ya akhwan, my sisters, his mother used to, when he was a kid, 10 years old, she used to wake him up. And the wife, the woman, they don't have to come to the masjid for Fajr. She used to, because her father is dead, she used to walk her son every single day to pray Fajr in Jama'ah. Every single day since he was 10 years old. As we all know, there are very famous 4 Imams: Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, Imam Malik, rahimahullah, Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah, and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. But there are there are many a'imma that their madhab was not recorded by their students, but their opinions about matters are still valid, like Imam al-Awza'i. We still hear the opinion of Awza'i was this, was that, but his students did not write his madhab. Similarly, Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, also his students did not write. But Imam Abu Hanifa and the rest of the four A'imma, their students or the students of their students wrote their madhahib, and subhanallah, they are still up till now. And if I ask you, I forgot my chocolate in the office. We usually give chocolate away. Which is the most adapted madhab in the world? Imam Abu Hanifa. New Yorker. Yes, Imam Abu Hanifa. Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, is the most adapted madhab all over the world, the most. But the point I'm mentioning here is the respect the A'imma they have for one another. I'm going to quote some of the words and the statements that Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said about his teacher, Imam. Who's his teacher? Shafi'i. Is Imam Shafi'i. He used to be his student and he respected him so much that he used to say, for 40 years, listen ya akhwan, for 40 years, no night passed except I made this dua. رب اغفر لي ولوالدي ولمحمد ابن إدريس الشافعي. Allahu Akbar. The respect and the honor to the teachers. They used to make dua just like he's making dua for himself, and his father make dua for Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah. He used to tell his son Abdullah, because he had a son Abdullah, the famous ones are Abdullah and Salih, the sons of Imam Ahmad. They are the ones who took the ilm from him. He used to tell his son, just like the sun to the word, and just like the health to the human body, this is the Imam Shafi'i to the Ummah. Just like you cannot live without those two, the Ummah at that time could not live without the Imam Shafi'i. Just they cannot be replaced. Similarly, Imam Shafi'i cannot be replaced. And Shafi'i, now look at Shafi'i speaking about Imam Ahmad rahimahullah. He said, when I left Baghdad, now Shafi'i is speaking, when I left Baghdad, I did not leave anyone more knowledgeable, well-versed, more pious, more righteous than Imam Ahmad. What a great testimony coming from Imam Shafi'i about Imam Ahmad rahimahullah. Regretfully, ya akhwan, unfortunately, the respect was not amongst their followers. The respect was not amongst their followers. Wallahi, ya akhwan, no matter what happened, maybe I could have a different opinion with another scholar, another sheikh, but there's no way it would reach the level to disrespect one another. We all, no matter what happened, at the end of the day, we could pray next to each other. Even though I disagree with you in a certain fiqhi matter, there's nothing wrong with that. But to reach the level, I curse you, or I spread rumors against you, or I try my best to plan all my life, how can I ruin your life? This is not Islam. Look how these shuyukh spoke about each other and how much they respected one another. Amazing if you hear the stories about how much they respected and honored each other. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, at the age 15, he started seeking knowledge. And he was a very, very bright person, very bright. And he was not only satisfied by getting his knowledge from Baghdad, but he also traveled to Khurasan, to Yemen, to Maghrib, seeking all kinds of knowledge, and specifically the science of hadith. One time, he left with Yahya ibn Mu'in. They left together, they lived at the same period. Also, Yahya is a major scholar. They went and they said to themselves, we have to travel to Yemen to study from Imam Abdul Razzaq. He was the Imam of his time. And the trip, ya akhwan, from Iraq to Yemen is 2 months, whether it's a donkey or a camel. It's a very hard trip. 2 months to seek the ilm of hadith. Now 1 click and nobody's touching it. Huh? 2 months. So on their way to Yemen, they stopped where? Exactly, Mecca. On the way, stopped in Mecca, let's perform Umrah. While they're performing Umrah, they saw Abdul Razzaq, the one they're going to seek in Yemen to get the knowledge from. So Yahya, his friend, Imam Ahmad's friend, he was very happy. He said, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Ya Shaykh, can we sit down with you tomorrow and study, some hadith? So the Shaykh said, yes. Ahmad got upset. I made the intention when I left Iraq that I'm getting the hadith from Yemen, and I will not get the hadith except from Yemen. So Yahya told him, Ya Akhi, Allah saved you 1 more month of traveling and headache and coast, and he said, Subhanallah, he loved to go and seek the knowledge, to travel for the knowledge, no matter what does it cost. So subhanallah, of course this is extreme. Everybody would say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Even the other Shaykh, which is a great alim, he said Alhamdulillah, Allah sent us Abdul Razzaq here, why should we travel there? But he insisted, and he traveled to Yemen and sat with Imam Abdul Razzaq. With respect to his fiqh, to his ibadat, he performed Hajj 5 times, 3 times walking. 3 out of the 5 walking from Baghdad. 3 walking and 2 riding. He had he used to fast Monday and Thursday and the 3 white days. And listen to this, ya akhwan. Why do you think we are discussing somebody after all these years? His son Abdullah. And I checked on this information from many sources. Listen to this, especially my young brothers. He used to pray 300 rak'ah a night. He used to sleep after Isha and stay 2-3 hours sleeping, and then up all the way to Fajr. Every single day, narrated by his son. And he said when he became in his 70s and he became very tired, he lowered it to 100. When is the last time you prayed Qiyam, my brother? 2 rak'ah. 2 rak'ah. Do you know that up to 6:15 you still pray tahajjud this time of year? Up to 6:15 you can still pray tahajjud. And we know that Rasulullah ﷺ told us the best salat after fard is the salat of tahajjud. 2 rak'ah, ya akhi, 2 rak'ah. 2 rak'ah, inshallah, to lighten your grave when you really need it the most. 300 rak'ah. Allah put barakah in their time. When we hear these things, some of us are saying, brother, come on, 300 rak'ah. How could you believe then that Abu Hanifa rahimahullah used to finish the Quran daily in Ramadan? Barakah. That's what we're missing in our life. The word barakah. There's no barakah. No barakah in our time. No barakah in our children. No barakah in our money. No barakah in our health. No barakah. They had barakah. 77 years old, healthy. Now 50, cholesterol, doctor, all kinds of diseases. And with all this technology, subhanallah, they used to be very strong. 300 rak'ah. Wallahi, we should feel, I'm on top of that list. We should feel this big, wallahi ya akhwan. That's why we mention these people. So we can get encouraged. I'm not telling you 300, wallahi 3. Divided by 100. 90% discount. 3 rak'ah only, ya akhwan. Let's make it from tonight. 3 witr. They could be considered qiyam if you pray them at night. He was very poor. His father left him a property that brought 17 dirham a month in income. But what's 17 dirham in a month for a big family? So he used to be very poor, but with all that poverty, he never accepted the gifts of the Salatin. The Sultan. No gifts from Sultan, no gifts from Khalifa. Nothing is accepted. He will never accept anything from them. He married, which is something that, if you noticed, it happened a lot with the people of knowledge. They get married very late. He married at the age of 40. Now, there are many karamat. You know what karamat? What's karamat the same in Urdu? What is it in English? Miracles is more, miracles is very strong. Miracles is mu'jiza, not miracle. Karama, يعني, it's an honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives it to certain people. A very special blessing. Very special blessing. Yeah, gifted blessing. It's a gifted blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He had many of them. One of them was a man came to him. His mother, this man's mother, was crippled for years. He came, knocked at the door. His wife opened the door. And he said, is Imam Ahmad in? She said, yes. What do you want? He said, Wallahi, my mother is very, very sick for years, and I've been asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and she's now in her late age, and I want him just to make dua for my mother. I want him to make dua for my mother. So the Imam told him, I heard him, you know. The narration says, the man went back home, knocked at the door, his mother opened the door. Again, there are many, but the ones I'm saying, I checked their authenticity. It was narrated by a very well-known scholar that only narrates Sahih. He said he went back home, the mother opened the door. Allahu Akbar. A very well-known story. Again, I checked the authenticity. I found out, even though it's very, very common, you see it all over YouTube, every sheikh probably said it, and I did not find the real source, because it says it's in the Ibn al-Jawzi, rahimuhullah, he wrote a book called Manaqib Ahmad. You know, it's all about Imam Ahmad. So he mentioned, they saying that they mentioned in that book, but I didn't have enough time to check it's really in that book, but many shuyukh said that story. And the story is about Imam Ahmad, and one time he was traveling, and he prayed Isha, and after he finished praying, he did not have place to stay in that city that he was in. It says it was in Bilad al-Sham. And he put his stuff on the floor and he went to sleep. So one person told him, get out of the masjid. We have to close the masjid. He said, Ya akhi, I have no place to go. He said, get out of the masjid. So he took his stuff and he slept at the door of the masjid. The man came and kicked him. And subhanallah, with all this, he was the most well-known alim on earth at that time. And he never said, do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who I am? He did not say that. So the man kicked him again from the door. Who saw that? There was a baker across the street. A baker across the street saw the guard or the caretaker of the masjid doing this to Imam Ahmad. He did not know Imam Ahmad either. He did not have any Facebook page or anything. Nobody knows how he looks like. So he took him and he said, you can stay with me tonight. Just wait with me a little bit till I finish baking. So Imam Ahmad thanked him so much, and he went inside and watched the man working in his bakery. So the man, every time he puts the dough and takes the dough, his tongue did not stop for a second. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah al-azim, astaghfirullah al-azim. So the Imam was amazed. The Imam was amazed. He said, how long have you been doing this? You know what the man told him? Doing what? It became his nature, istighfar. He said, this istighfar that you're doing, how long have you been doing it? He said, I don't remember, I've been doing it for all my life. He said, did you feel or did you know, or what is the fruit? What was the outcome from this much istighfar? Did you see anything? He said, Wallahi, let me tell you something. I never made a dua except it was answered. Ya akhwan, a lot of istighfar all the time. He said, I never made a dua except it's answered, except one dua. He said, what's that dua? He said, I've been asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for such a long time, Ya Allah, I want to see Imam Ahmad Bin Hanbal. So the Imam teared and cried. And he said, not only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered your dua, Allah dragged me to your door. Allahu Akbar. Allah dragged me to your door. This is the fruit of istighfar, ya akhwan. The fruit of istighfar. We hear, forget about the story. Rasulullah sallallahu already told us, the great reward of making a lot of istighfar. Make a lot of istighfar. If you want abundance of rizq, abundance of provision, make a lot of istighfar. So then, of course, I will end with the most famous story about Imam Ahmad, which is the mihna, the tribulation and the trial of Imam Ahmad. The ulama said that أعز الله الدين بالصديق يوم الردة وأعز الله الدين بأحمد يوم المحنة. Allah honored this deen with Abu Bakr on the day when people left Islam. You remember the Harb al-Ridda with the zakat? Allah honored Izzah of this deen with Abu Bakr because he stood firm. And Allah honored Islam with Imam Ahmad when he stood firm in this mihna. What is this mihna? It's a very, very long story, briefly. In his time, the Khalifa was, what was the name of the Khalifa? We give the first chocolate. Huh? Harun Rashid, no. Ma'mun. Ma'mun. Oops, sorry. Al-Ma'mun. Al-Ma'mun, he was a very educated, smart man. But he got into the Greek science and Greek knowledge. And he started ordering his people, his educated people, to translate all the Greek science to a language he can understand, to the language, to the Arabic. So they did. So he got into that intellectual stuff. Plus, in his time, the Mu'tazila, it's a group of, everybody knows what the Mu'tazila? The Mu'tazila, their main thinking is, everything has to be, is like, they put the intellect over the deen. Logic, intellect over the deen. This is very briefly, yani. And they were surrounding him, and they were polluting his thinking with their aqidah, to the level that he ordered every person to switch and adopt the aqidah of the Mu'tazila. Everybody living on his time. And the main man at that time from the Mu'tazila, Ahmad ibn Abi Du'ad. He was the main man. And he was the head of the Mu'tazila. My brothers, my sisters, you can imagine how many sheikh, how many imam, how many scholar, how many mufti at that time, they all surrendered except for. They all surrendered for the mihna, for the tribulation, that the Quran is makhluq. The Quran is created. The Quran is a creation of Allah. But we all know as Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah that the Quran is Kalamullah. It's the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They said no, Allah does not talk. It's a long story. Let's get back to our point. So, only four imams, they steadfast. 2 gave in after they were tortured. Yes, Quran makhluk. Muhammad ibn Nuh and Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the only 2 who said no, Al-Quran Kalamullah. Muhammad ibn Nuh died with the same aqidah. And he told Ahmad, him, let me see if I can find it, because he said, أنت رجل يقتدى به وقد مد الخلق أعناقهم إليك لما يكون منك فاتق الله واثبت لأمر الله. Be careful, Ya Muhammad. This is my wasiyah before I die. Ya Ahmad, people look up to you. And it was true. Thousands and hundreds of thousands look up to Imam Ahmad, highly respected. Be careful. Stay steadfast on your opinion. Do not bend. Do not fall in the trap. Do not take the bait. And he stood fast. Imam Ahmad Bin Hanbal, the honored Imam, 28 months in jail. 28 months in jail. 3 Khalifa, Al-Ma'mun, Al-Mu'tasim, Al-Wathiq. All of 3 of them, they insisted and they persisted that he change his mind. And there's so many details about what happened to him, specifically with the Mu'tasim. There was an argument, he brought him, the Mu'tasim brought him, and he wants to have a debate between him and everybody from the Mu'tazila. And he shut them up one by one, subhanallah, from the Quran. Every time they say something, he answered them right away. طيب يا أخوان, let me ask you a question. What's the big deal if somebody say the Quran is makhluk? Why it's such a big fitna that happened? Many people died, many people jailed. Why? Let me answer you like Imam Ahmad answered. He went to the Mu'tasim one time and he said, Ya Mu'tasim, I was praying yesterday in my cell and I prayed 2 rak'ah. In the first 2 rak'ah I read قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Second rak'ah قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. And then in the second rak'ah, and I finished, I prayed another 2 rak'ah. I said Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And then I was saying قُلْ هُوَ I could not continue. And I looked at the corner, I saw the Quran dead. So I covered him, I buried him. I washed the Quran and I covered him and I buried him. He said, how could you say that? The Quran does not die. He said, isn't that everything created dies? كل مخلوق كل نفس كل شيء فان. Subhanallah. If we say that the Quran is makhluk, this is a kufr. This is kufr. Quran is kalam Allah. Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran khalaqa al-insan. He didn't say khalaqa al-Quran allama al-insan. Many dalil. أعوذ بكلمات الله تامات من شر ما خلق. How? If the Quran is makhluk, I'm saying, Ya Allah, I seek refuge with your words from what you created. So if the Quran is makhluk, how did this hadith, how did this dua work? Yani there are many dalil from the Quran that this is not true. And he was so firm, ya akhwan, so firm, until the Khalifa al-Mutawakkil came and changed everything back again and released him from the jail. And Imam Ahmad lived a little bit after that and he passed away. He died at the age of 77, and they said that around at that time, even though he died in the morning and the janazah was at Asr, look at the short period of time, 1 million people prayed janazah. No janazah in Jahiliyyah, no janazah in Islam at that time that reached that point in such a short period of time. 1 million people prayed janazah on the Imam Ahmad. Rahmatullah alayh. May Allah have mercy on him and may Allah have mercy on all our A'immah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. But one thing, ya akhwan, just one thing, because of the time, one lesson. I usually bring up many lessons from the story, but one lesson. Why Imam Ahmad? How many shuyukh and A'immah was on his time? I challenge any one of you to name one of them. To name one of them from the people who gave in and said that the Quran is makhluk. No one. Nobody knows anything about them. But because this man sadaqa ma'allah. This is the lesson. Be truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will honor you. We do not know Imam Ahmad about his money. We do not know about Imam Ahmad about his property. We know about Imam Ahmad about his steadfastness. When you mention Imam Ahmad, everybody knows his tabat. If it was not because of him, Allahu a'lam if you were sitting here today. He kept the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah steadfast on the haqq. Sadaqa ma'allah. He was truthful. He did not care about anybody. He knows that the Quran was kalamullah, and now he's not going to give in. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored him. And his madhab is followed by millions of people. So ya akhwan, living in the West, being bombarded by different theories, by many ideas, ideologies, stick to this deen. Know that you are on the right path and don't let anything shake you. Usduq ma'Allah. You will find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala getting you out from things you've never expected. Just be truthful. Be sincere. I could fake to you, you could fake to me, but you can never fake with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be honest and be sincere with Allah. Allah will honor you. Usduq ma'Allah. As-sidq ma'Allah. Why do we know Bilal? Why do we call a black man from that time he was a slave? Why do we call him now our master Bilal? Why? Sadaqa ma'Allah. He was truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah honored him till the day of judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the صادقين. اللهم اجعلنا من الصادقين. اللهم اجعلنا من المتوكلين. اللهم اجعلنا من عبادك المخبتين. اللهم آمين يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I want you to welcome my beloved brothers, the New Yorkers. I see New York Giants here, and don't get the Cowboys next to you, brother. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.